As always, remember this is for educational purposes only and must never be used on the public internet. In a previous video, we installed a version of WordPress locally on our laptop. However, we want to have a version of WordPress that is known to be vulnerable, and there are a number of places where these are available. For me, the best place is a site called vulnhub.com. This has hundreds of vulnerable virtual machines for download and ethical hacking. Type in WordPress and you can download any VM you like. I have downloaded one and will be using this within VirtualBox. We fire up VirtualBox and then open both Kali Linux and our target, the WordPress VM. Kali Linux has several tools built in for ethical hacking a WordPress install. The VM has now booted up, created by InfoSec. I have very little information about this machine, so the purpose now is to enumerate this box to find out as much as I can. The first task is to find out the IP address of the box, as we do not even have this. The quickest way to achieve this is to use the command netdiscover. This will display all of the devices on the local network with IP address, MAC addresses, and hostname. I recognize that 192.168.1.157 is an IP I do not recognize. Browsing to that IP confirms my thoughts that it is a WordPress IP address, albeit a very plain site. Our first attempt at scanning is with NMap. Using the -a parameter is going to scan and reveal everything about this box, so it does take a little while to reveal the result. Go and grab a drink. Once the results have appeared on the screen, we can begin to take some details here. The details are the port numbers and application. SSH on port 22 shows the version of OpenSSH. Further down is port 80 and 443, showing the version of Apache web server installed. Also in here, there is the version of WordPress installed and the title, InfoSec, all very useful information. NMap scanning can produce amazing results. The next one is targeting WordPress using a specific script. I will show the NMap NSE further along in this video. I have put this command in the description below for enumerating WordPress. Once you run this, it will give specific scan results for WordPress and its installed modules. This is all extremely useful information for pen testing, so that we know what versions of WordPress and modules the website is currently using. We can see the Apache version again, but modules under port 80 and 443 such as a Kismet, Duplicator etc. are all golden to a hacker. The last of the NMap scans is the most comprehensive and can find out absolutely everything going on within this VM. Visiting the NMap.org site shows you where all the individual scans can be rolled into one scan. Now, type in sudo nmap -sv -script, followed by the specific script you require, in this case vuln, ending with the IP address of the VM. As the information contained in the results is extensive, best to export this to an external file. Once completed, press enter and let this run. Please note this will take a while to finish, so I have shortened this process for you. Once completed, we will navigate to the file, which will be in the home directory of Kali Linux. Find the file, which will be a text file, and open it up. At first glance, it looks pretty complicated, and to be fair, it is. There are a lot of exploit numbers in here, showing that the VM is open to exploitation. Under port 22 for example, there are multiple CVE numbers, or common vulnerabilities and exploits. The same applies for port 80 and 443, as we scroll down. As we build a profile of this device, save this file for later. Next is Nikto, a web server scanning tool for hunting down vulnerabilities. The syntax is very easy, Nikto, -host followed by the IP address and press enter. It can take a little while to run, but as this is a small box, it will pass results quite quickly. A quick review of the results shows 3 instant issues, one of them being the version of OpenSSL, now being out of support and therefore vulnerable. The same is reported for the versions of PHP and Apache, so this is very important to have this server patched very quickly. The HTTP trace result lower down shows that the site is vulnerable to a cross-site tracing attack. So now you are starting to see that with only 2 simple methods, we have found some glaring holes on this VM. The final enumeration technique is WPScan, a WordPress-specific scanning tool. I will be creating a separate video for this, as it is a more complex tool and has many methodologies for scanning. If you want, just type in WPScan help to see the options available. There are a lot of them, and this will be explained in a later video. For now, we are going to keep it simple, using just the WPScan command, followed by URL, then the IP address of the box, followed by -e. This part of the video is more just to show the process, rather than producing full results. However, you can see within the result there is an interesting findings section. It confirms some of the information given during the previous enumeration techniques, such as the Apache version, OpenSSL and PHP versions. It also gives you a competence rating for each section, letting you know if this should be looked at or not. As there is a whole lot more to WPScan, we cannot do it enough justice. But for now, using Nikto, NMap and WPScan has given us a huge amount of information about this website. Thank you so much for joining us on the G-Man channel today, and we hope you found this useful. Like, share and subscribe so that you can join us for more useful material.